This is the Citi Newsroom. It is indeed a somber day here, a day filled with mourning, a day filled with tears. Barely a week after the drowning of some 13 kids here in Apam, the Goma West constituency, well, families are getting ready to bury their loved ones. Age 12, some age 14, some age 13. Well, they have left their families in tears. And on today's edition of the Citi Newsroom, we will be bringing you proceedings from the grounds, possibly speak to some family members, and also bring you different angles to this particular stories. 13 children, after going to take a swim, they have had their lives essentially washed away. Now their coffins are lined up at the St. Luke's Catholic Hospital, the mortuary section of the hospital. And their families are essentially shedding tears as they bid them farewell for the final time. They have had their lives essentially washed away. Now their coffins are lined up at the St. Luke's Catholic Hospital, the mortuary section of the hospital. And their families are essentially shedding tears as they bid them farewell for the final time.
Mama onko echi bebre one brand baby impa don bon wa e bia won kwa wo bon won we yi won afipnu ba me futu amedmo wan.
We are roaming through these lined up coffins. Oh, ma bachopi shedding why?
Bacho yo mate.
Obani Gilbert. Sorry, why Mpachupi? Sorry, Mpachupi. Edian, na ubetumi aka efa Gilbert Sando wa mai.
But you na muntu mukasa.
Amano. Who kind?
Mana na onkwampa no le fia no onkwampa no boda. Na kwesi ana pa ohuru na ade wie na ohuru na ma me se orkwan. No asema me ba na ma me ka che kwesi ko gbe store. Na wukuda am yuru ko sunti ya to ade ka da so na me wa akwa ma me ba na na ma me so ya do ron shi no me do me kwesi ade fa nti na me ka se ne simpo ya nwe na afra na kwampa no tem da o ka hu nti echi kwa no be me ka ba akwa bọọlụ won pa no ya ba no kwesi akwa won na wo pupu kaka be aba fa me onye kwesi ko me ye bo ye wupiu ya ba hospital ye hun ya ga chi me ya hun ta mo chi ekwa na ya the form pa no te ko bia no wa wo de nsu na me ko chi ya yin bo to suru me ya ma no bo hospital yalo nkwampa no ntasem si ya enyim le o kan enyim do kan
But now we dia here na classmate o
our conservation where school is our questions I go to you my questions wo ukuri dia
School ya pass go school ada wa ino ada go branch school me no ni ada kujo ada be ada kabi mamo ada.
You can just tell me about him and your plans essentially for your son.
No, personally, I came just about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
They are twins, a boy and a girl. The dead one is Akwete. We have the senior one is Oko. And I'm supposed to carry them back to Spain. We are supposed to leave on the 12th. Supposed to leave on the 12th March. Then on the 7th March, we lost him. That's all.
So you're from Accra. I mean, essentially Oko and Akwete.
Yeah, the mother is a fancy about it. I'm from Po.
Wow.
I'm from Po, so we are done. So all these people see they are all my family, my sisters, my big brothers, everybody is around.
I mean, as a father, what plans did you have for your son?
No, a couple of months ago, I went to the U.S. I wanted them to go to the U.S. So I went to the U.S. to arrange for how I can resettle there, moving from Spain to the U.S. So my purpose was to come down and carry them along. And I got my ticket. I have the British Airways tickets for the two of them. I even have their passport with me right now. It's unfortunate.
I don't even want to imagine what's going through your mind right
now. Yeah, it's not easy. You know, it's not easy. It has not been easy for me since Sunday. I can't help it. Right? I can't help it.
I'm sorry, sir. Very sorry, sir.
can't help it.
I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Very sorry. So there you, wow. Wow. I mean, the father of one of the kids that, was lost, he was essentially getting ready to move them from Ghana to Spain on the 12th of March. And on the 7th, they lost him. Tragic story. You're watching the Citi Newsroom as we bring you a coverage of the final funeral rites for the 13 kids who were lost as they drowned at sea here in Apam, the Guma West constituency. Utter shock, utter disbelief. This word is written across the faces of the parents and the relatives here as we all take part in this exercise. A man who was unable to believe or comprehend the fact that the 13-year-old who is lying in the coffin on which he has laid his hands, I presume that's a father, that's a relative. The picture over which he towers says the person was 13 years old. 13 years old, cut short. He takes off his face mask, unable to believe. And I can hear him say the name of the kid out. The bodies are currently being carried out one after the other. That's what you're seeing in your shot. One kid after the other. Benjamin Naka being carried away. White coffins being carried away. One after the other. All the kids that lost their lives on that fateful day of March 7, essentially were aged between 13, 14, 15, 16, some even lower. 13 young kids who, were schooling. 13 young kids at the JHS level. Now behind me you can see some of their classmates who are at the funeral grounds, essentially coming to pay their final respects to their classmates who have lost their lives. I'm going to speak to a teacher, just to find out more about the students that we have lost. If you can join me, can you tell me about your name, the school you're from, and the student that you have lost?
I'm the Maths and Social Studies teacher for the Form 3s. And then the disease our loss was Joshua Hammond. Yes.
Now, this should be really sad. You're here with other students to mourn one of your own. I mean, how are you feeling? Right
now? Our heart bleeds. As me, for instance, I'm very sad right now because Joshua Hammond was a brother at the same time, a student, people to me. So then, he's one humble student, I can say. He will go wherever you send him. And then he doesn't like these social gathering things where you have to go to the beach and all that. So when the news came, we were all surprised because he's not that type. He's not that students who will always be moving around and all that. So we were all surprised. And then as it stands, we are grieving. Our heart is bleeding. That's it. He liked my subjects, for instance, social studies. Yeah. I knew that he was interested in playing football. He was very good, a defender. Yes, our left back. Yes, left back. He was very good.
In the school team?
School team, yes. He was part of the school team. He played starting from the primary level to the JHS level. Yes, left back. He was very good. Yes, and very determined. That one I can tell.
What can you tell us about him? I mean, what type of person was he?
He's a very quiet and humble person. He was always honest and he is very hardworking. He didn't like bullying other people. He was very free with the juniors and other things. He was a very good person. He used to sweep our class each and every day. He will help the girls do all the works in the school. He's a very good person. We didn't expect him to die at that young age.
I'm really sorry. Yeah?
It's okay.
I'm really sorry. I mean, where? Wow. So you've known him for how long? Since when?
Since we started school, from crèche. Yeah.
He's been with you all the way through to JHS.
Yeah, he was a very good friend. He started when I came to the school. He was there and he was really hardworking. I've known him since crèche, and he has been through the school with us.
Do you remember any, funny story of his back in class where he made you people laugh?
Yeah. Sometimes we just ask him, Joshua, please speak English continuously 10 times, and we will give you 1 CD. And he won't speak. If he speaks, he will just speak the local dialect. And yeah, and
He was a very friendly.
yeah, he was very friendly with everybody in the school.
If you have him here, to speak to him in Fanti, what would you say to him? Your final words to your friend.
I say, Joshua, I missed you a lot. May your soul rest in peace.
Sorry. You can go and join your friends now. Yeah? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry for your loss. So that's a classmate of Joshua. We earlier spoke to his math teacher. And like every young kid, very friendly, very helpful, and had a bright future ahead of him. But unfortunately, his future has been cut short. You're still watching the Citi Newsroom as we bring you coverage of the final funeral rites of the 13 kids who have lost their lives. The funeral has commenced. Now, a number of individuals from family members, friends, schoolmates, teachers, along with strangers have all come to the grounds of the St. Luke Catholic Hospital to partake in the ceremony. Now, some dignitaries have also made their way to the grounds. Regional Minister Marigold Hassan has made her way to the grounds, as well as MP for Guma West, Richard Jan Mensah, and Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Mavis Hakumsin, is also on the podium. In addition to the support that the government gave to the affected parties, it has also given out some 10,000 Ghana cedis to the affected families that lost their children, as well as 5,000 Ghana cedis each to the surviving individuals. And there's the two young men who made it out alive.
I believe we are all aware of what happened on the 8th of March. Today they are finally going to find a place for the kids, and I will say my condolences to all the family and the chiefs of Apam town and the fishermen. May their soul rest in peace.
As a mother, I saw you shedding tears. What was running through your head, and what do you think should be done to protect our kids going forward?
I was just imagining that if it were me, what would have happened? Because it's very painful to lose a child, not to talk about 13 children. So the country, the region, and the town, that's a very great loss. So we need.
Are you looking at
the government has supported, you give some monies out. Now what is the way forward, going forward?
Yeah, as we advise the parents and the children that they should be very cautious of whatever they do. We also ask the parents to also make sure that when they are around, they should make sure their children are always around. They should know where they will be at a point in time. From here, the DCE and the chiefs will meet, and then together we'll see what we can do with the government.
Next to me, we have the Member of Parliament for Guma West, Richard Jan Mensah. Just want to get a few words from him as we continue with the process.
I believe that what has happened now, nobody anticipates it to happen. But as it has happened already, what we are putting in place is already I have actually had discussion with the DC, we've put things together so that we can maybe ensure that this thing will not repeat itself. Currently, with Apam, this advice is actually be given to everyone along the coastal area. Whilst in the wake of the ban, as I said, we should all try and make sure that we avoid visiting such places if we're not going there to trade, because we cannot say that people shouldn't go to the beach entirely, because there are people who plow their trade there. We have fishermen, we have fishmongers, we have guys who go there to carry fishing. So the shores are not, people are not banned from going to the shores. But when people who are going there to make merry or to enjoy themselves or have fun, there are people that we are asking, we are appealing to, that at this point they should all let us all respect the ban and also respect the regulations that have been put in place.
I think this will be a lesson for everybody, not only Gumwa, but for every home in Ghana. We have to take very good care of our children. I'm not saying the families were irresponsible, no. But we have to pay more attention to the kids, you know. We have to make them obey us. We have to let them listen to us, our language. Because you are in the house, a friend comes to take your word out, and the next thing you hear is this tragedy. Accidents are bound to happen. But what has happened Black Sunday in Gomo, I don't think it will be forgotten. Because we don't know the future of these children. They are going to help the family, the nation, and everybody. But, well, as I said, we give everything to God, so we'll leave it there. But we want each and every parent to pay more attention to the word.
Is there going to be steps taken to ensure that they don't go there again?
Sure, that's why we are going to take drastic measures. Yes, and even that's why I said it's a lesson to everybody and all the family. Are you going to, whatever has happened, are you going to let your child go there again? No, but as for children, they are children, you understand. Now that it has happened, everybody is bitter, but later some of them will forget it. Yeah, but I know those at the beaches will ensure whatever measures to be taken.
On a normal day, the Apam beach, as you can see, filled with standby canoes as well as fishermen who will normally go about their duties. But on the fateful day of the 7th of March, well, nothing normal happened here as the waves were heavy, the tides came in and swept away and drowned the lives of 13 indigents in this particular sport. My name is Bobi Osei, and currently I'm standing at on the sands of the Apam beach, and according to the fishermen, if the tides are high or if the waters actually rise, this whole place will be filled with water, such that if you're not careful and you're swimming around these areas where you're not supposed to swim, you could drown. And that's exactly what happened to the 13 kids. So I'm going to speak to our Central Regional correspondent who has been following this tragic case since it started. Right behind us is actually the area where the kids were swimming and unfortunately got drowned. Now before we move on to some of the rites that have been performed to ensure that the burial that is happening today actually goes on, walk us through the area where we are hearing about how the water can rise so much so that where we stand will be filled with water, and where the kids even move from to get to that area which they are not supposed to get to.
Okay, here in Apam, from what I learned, they have something they call Sunday Special, where on each and every Sundays, children from all walks of life, some from Apam Junction, some from within Apam, some from Winneba, they come here to swim on Sundays.
But they're not allowed to.
They are not allowed to. So it has been like a ritual. They do everything. They are not allowed to. So in this instance, they have to use an unauthorized route to get to the sea to swim. The traditional authorities have also said that they breach the laws of the land by passing through where the gods, the ancestors, actually are sighted. They passed there and then entered into the sea to come and swim. And they believe this is what caused the tragedy. Over the week, the traditional authorities also performed some rites to cleanse the area and appease the gods for the tragedy that has happened, Bobie.
For a little over a week, the tears have been flowing. Confusion has characterized the mood in Apam. And after deliberations, after visits by different stakeholders to the families of the 13 individuals that drowned at Apam Beach, well, this is their final resting place. Their friends, their family, the entire community, as well as onlookers, have essentially brought them to their final place of rest. This therefore ends our coverage of the death and burial of the 13 kids who drowned at Apam Beach. For Citi Newsroom, my name is Bobi Osei.